everyone, my name's Ebony and welcome to another video.
Think I know you better to forget her. Certain people made for running. Think I need you more than let you know I'm bored and tell me this means more than nothing.
So today I'm going to be tier ranking all of the books that I read in 2020. Yes, I know it's April. Yes, I know I'm late. Do I care? No. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm in Will's dorm. That's why my background and my lighting all looks weird and gross, so I apologize. So today we are going to be tier ranking all technically 117 books I read in 2020 because I had a couple of rereads. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So here's my tier rank and the different tiers. We have superior, enjoyable, average, forgettable, waste of my time, and Bleck. Bleck is for one specific book, so we'll get there. And then all the books are down here. As you can see, there are a lot of them. I said 117, so it might take a hot second to do this. So let's just get going. Also, I want to say that I probably won't remember the author of all of these books, and it's too small to read it off of the book cover, so I apologize about that. But I believe the author is Christine Riccio for this. I'm going to put this in... I'll put it in average, because I didn't really like it. I didn't care for the ending where there was a sort of magical twist on a book that was mostly contemporary, but there was a lot of Taylor Swift mentions, and I loved that. So... And then we have All the Bright Places. I'm going to put this in enjoyable. It made me cry. I love when books make me cry. I could say more, but I don't want to make this video super duper long. I did have a vlog where I read it that I can link up above if you want to check out my more in-depth thoughts. But okay, next we have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabatiere. I'm going to put this in average because I read it for my December Fantasy Challenge. And I enjoyed it enough to continue. I have already read A Torch Against the Night. I read it very recently, but it wasn't amazing, and honestly, I don't remember a whole lot, so it kind of also falls into forgettable, but I'm just going to leave it in average. And then I have Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I'm going to put this in enjoyable. This is the book of the movie Annihilation. The movie adaptation is very different than the book is, but I think they're both enjoyable in their own right. They just took things differently, which is fine. I really did enjoy this. I love Annihilation, the movie, and so the book was very good too. Then we have The Babysitter's Cousin by Kate Williams. I don't remember what her name is. I'm gonna put this in forgettable because this was the first book I read in 2020 and I literally remember barely anything. I do want to read the sequel, so maybe as I read the sequel I might look up a synopsis, or maybe I'll start remembering things, things will come back, but honestly I can't tell you much about this book. And then we have Bang by Lisa Mcmahon. It's the second book in the Visions Trilogy. All the Visions Trilogy books are going to go in the superior category because I love Lisa Mcmahon. I loved those books and they were all very good. I gave them all 4.5 stars. Then we have The Battle of the Ampere by Richard Paul Evans. This also goes in the superior tier because I love the Michael Bay series. All the Michael Bay books are probably going to go up in there too. Maybe I should have made another tier above that, the elite, the best books. I don't know. Maybe I'll put the elite books at the beginning of the tier just so you know the difference. Beauty Queens by LaRue, waste of my time. I did not care for this book. I had seen it as OIDs and duets and humorouses when I was in speech, and I didn't enjoy it then. I didn't enjoy the book when I read it. It was really annoying, actually. So yeah, I literally wish I hadn't read it. Before the Devil Breaks You by LaRue. Honestly, okay, I'm gonna put this one in average because The Diviners, I read the whole series, and it is very forgettable, at least for me. I liked the vibe, and I liked the way I felt when I was reading them, and I enjoyed it, but I cannot tell you that much about them at all. But I will say that this book, Before the Devil Breaks You, is when I really started, getting a hang of all of the characters, because there are so many, and also really enjoying the series. So I'm going to put it in average because of that. And then we have Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. I'm going to put this in enjoyable, average, enjoyable, average. gonna put it in an average. Rudis Apetys is a great author. I really enjoyed that this was like a World War II historical fiction that didn't focus on like Nazis and concentration camps. Like those are important things, but I feel like all World War II stuff focuses on that. And this was about, gosh, I can't even remember like who the people were, but it was a different group of people who were sent to like work camps and literally like worked to death. And it sounded like, the way she wrote it was very like descriptive and graphic, and it was very good, but also I don't really remember that much, and I think it was written for a little bit of a younger audience than I was when I was reading it. So okay, Black Sun by Rebecca something. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I'm putting this in forgettable because I can't tell you a single thing that happened in that book, and I read it in December for my December fantasy challenge, and I don't know what happened in that at all. Blue Moon by Allison Noel. Put this one in, I don't know. Okay, I'll put it in forgettable because I couldn't tell you what happened in it, or at least compared to the other books, but I remember enjoying this one more than the other books. For the most part, I gave them all like 2 and 3 stars, so most of them are probably going to go in waste of my time, especially because I read the whole series, but this one I remember enjoying more than the other ones, but I couldn't tell you what happened. Okay, then we have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I'm gonna put this one in forgettable too. Again, I couldn't tell you what happened for the most part. I could tell you that I liked some of the characters, but I don't know the plot, what happened. I think most of like my enjoyment of it would come from the fact that it's Harry Potter based, but like I don't know. I don't vibe with the Carry On series. I'll probably still read Anyway the Wind Blows, but I'm not gonna reread Carry On and Wayward Son, I don't think. I reread all of the Harry Potter books in 2020 as well, and I'm probably going to put them all in enjoyable. If I was my like 13-year-old self, or no, I was younger than that, like 10-year-old self, like when I read them the first time, I love Harry Potter. The books to me aren't as nostalgic as the movies are, because I read the books when I was in like 5th grade, but like I grew up watching the movies, and I have watched them countless times, so like the books are still enjoyable to me, and I like all of the like lore and things you learn like that aren't in the movies, but they're not superior. And also like how problematic J.K. Rowling is also like dampens that a bit, but like they still are nostalgic to me, so I put them in enjoyable. Okay, now we have Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm gonna put this in average. I enjoyed it. It was alright. I don't remember a whole lot. I liked that it was written in verse. I feel like it didn't stick with me long term, but it was still good. Okay, Crash by Lisa McMahon. We already talked about that. It's the first book in the Visions Trilogy, and it's in the superior tier. Okay, and now we have Cut by Patricia McCormick, I think. I'm just gonna put this one in average. This was a reread. I had read it when I was like 13. It's just I think it has some interesting mental health rep. I wouldn't say it's good mental health rep, but I enjoy reading about mental health just like in general, so I don't know. Average, I guess. Okay, Dark Flame by Allison Noel. It's part of the Evermore series. Like I said, most of them are a waste of my time. Okay, Harry Potter. We're putting that one in enjoyable. The Picture of Dorian Gray. This is the one that goes in the black tier. I had to read this one for my literature class. I hate classics, if you didn't know. Can't stand them, so like I knew I wasn't gonna like it going in. But the thing is, like, I thought the premise was really interesting, but like the execution was 0 out of 10. I do not like the writing style that Oscar Wilde uses, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it at all, and I didn't enjoy writing a paper on it either. Okay, Dracula by Bram Stoker. I also read this for that class. I'm just gonna put this one in a waste of my time. I enjoyed it more than Dorian Gray, but I still didn't enjoy it like that much at all. Like, no, I didn't enjoy it. I don't like classics. Okay, these ones, we're putting them in a waste of my time because they're part of the Evermore series. And Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too. This one's going in enjoyable because I love that book. It's a graphic novel. It is so cute. It's by Jomny Sun, I believe. And I highly recommend it. It's very adorable and also very existential. It makes you think a little bit. Everything by Nicole Yoon. I think I'm going to put an average. I liked the movie, I think, more than I liked the book. Or at least, like, I only remember what happened in the book because I had watched the movie. Like, I feel like the differences between the book and the movie, I don't remember them at all, and I think I read that book in November. So, like, it didn't stick with me that long, but I do like the plot itself, so. Fade by Lisa Mcmahon. This is part of the Wake trilogy, and that goes in the superior tier. I love the Wake trilogy. I have read the first book, Wake, I think 10 times now. It's my comfort read. I love it so much, and this is the second book in that series, so it goes in the superior tier. Alright, we got another Michael Vey book in the superior tier. We love to see it. Fangirl, the graphic novel. Hell yes. Superior tier. Okay, this one's just going in, like, normal superior tier. I love Fangirl. It's, like, one of my favorite books of all time. Speaking of, we'll just pull this up because we're talking about it. But this Fangirl itself goes in, like, I can't get it to go past, there we go, is, like, the elite. So that's why it's at the top here. I should have made an elite tier. I'm dumb. I read Fangirl 3 times last year, not including my read of the graphic novel. And it is just stunning. Like, I could read it over and over and over. It is so good. I don't have words. It is my top 5 favorite books, like, of all time. And I just absolutely love Fangirl. So this would be in my elite tier. And the graphic novel of it was very good too. It was very interesting to read Fangirl, like, in a different media. There were some things that the book itself just does better. But for the most part, it was still very good. This is only the first volume. I think there's going to be 3 volumes of it, and I'm very excited for the next volumes to come out. Fever 1793, we're going to put this in Forgettable because I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in it. It's by Laurie Halse Anderson, who's the author of my favorite book, which is why I picked it up. But yeah, couldn't tell you what happened. Okay, Michael Vey book. This one goes in the superior tier. 4 by Veronica Roth. We're going to put it in Forgettable because it's like Divergent, but from 4's perspective. But I couldn't tell you the difference between, like, Divergent and then what I read from 4's perspective, you know? Frankly in Love. This one was a waste of my time. I did not like this book at all. I think I gave it, like, 2 stars. I liked the representation, but, like, literally everything else I hated. I think I'm just gonna link a bunch of, like, reading vlogs and wrap-ups of when I was reading some of these books, and you can, like, try to find them if you were, like, looking for a specific book, I guess, that I talked about. Maybe I'll, like, link down below, like, which books I talked about in what video. That sounds better. I'll do that. Frostbite by Rochelle Mead. This goes in the superior tier. I read the first 3 books in the Vampire Academy series last year, because I was reading them with my boyfriend, but, like, we didn't continue last year because we started, like, reading them as the month goes because of my Vampire Academy and Bloodlines read-along. So, like, only the first 3 books are in this tier, but all the Vampire Academy books for me are superior, so. Okay, Gasp by Lisa Mcmahon, again superior. It's part of the Visions Trilogy. Very good. Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. I'm gonna put in an average. It did have good mental health rep, but at the same time, it just went weird places that I wasn't expecting, and it was just, like, I don't know, like, abrupt. It just didn't feel genuine, I guess. I don't know. Okay, Harry Potter and another Harry Potter. Enjoyable. Okay, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Forgettable. I know it's an Alice in Wonderland retelling. I don't really like retellings. I don't even like Alice in Wonderland that much, but yeah, I couldn't tell you much except that she bakes. That's, like, the only thing I remember. Hope and Other Punchlines. I don't remember who the author of this is. I'm gonna put this one in Enjoyable. I actually bought a copy of this after I read the audiobook for it because I really liked it. And also the cover is really pretty. And it's really, really good. I liked that one a lot. Okay, another Michael Vey book goes in the superior tier. Imposters by Scott Westerfeld. I'm going to put an average. This is the, like, spin-off series of the Ugly series, which I read while I was growing up, so I have a lot of nostalgia for that series. And I actually enjoyed it. I feel like Scott Westerfeld's writing style has really improved over the years, and it, like, left off on a cliffhanger, so I'm really excited to read the next book. I really need to, before the 3rd book comes out this summer. But yeah, it was still very good. I liked it. In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. This goes in the superior tier. Honestly, I'm gonna put this, like, next to Fangirl in, like, my elite category. I loved this book. It's a memoir. It was so deep and personal, and the writing style was just brilliant. I absolutely adored this book. It was so good. And then we have Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I'm gonna put this one in enjoyable. Why did it go there? This was my first Christina Lauren book, and I believe it was my first adult romance book, which, like, I was sort of nervous to read adult books before this, I think. Like, I didn't really read adult books that much, but I realized after reading this that it was actually a fun time. So, someone's little car alarm is going off. I'm sorry if you can hear that. Layer of Dreams by Limba Bray. This one I'm going in forgettable because, like I said, that Before the Devil Breaks You is, like, where I started really enjoying this series, but, like, this one, for whatever reason, like, I just, like, could not follow along with the audiobook. Like, the first one was fine, like, I understood it for the most part, but this one I just couldn't follow along, and it was, like, really is distracting. Okay. Oh, okay, Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. I guess I said earlier that I only read the first 3 books. I forgot, like, in, like, fall of 2019, I'd started my, like, yearly reread of Vampire Academy, and I didn't finish the last book until the very beginning of 2020. So I forgot that this is technically in here, but it was a different reread than the reread of the first 3 books, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my brain, okay? Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. I'm gonna put in forgettable. I don't remember anything. I remember liking Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, but, like, I don't think I liked Leah that much to warrant wanting to read the companion novel. Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. I'm going to put an average. I don't usually like Christmas books, but I liked that this book was split into, like, 3 different stories that also kind of connected. I think that was a really fun way to do it. And, I mean, those authors are fairly good, too. Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I'm going to put in enjoyable. This is a book written in verse. It talks about some very important topics, and it was just done really well. I read it during a reading vlog, which of course I'll link down below for you guys to check out. It was really good. Lucid by, I don't even remember the authors. This one goes in Waste of My Time. I read this book, or I started this book also during that same reading vlog that I read Long Way Down. And it was so bad, honestly. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. Go check out the reading vlog if you want, like, full thoughts, because that was just, ugh. Okay, the next Michael Vey book, I can't even, there's so many rows now that I can't even scroll up and down and also hold the picture. But this one, again, goes in Superior. I love Michael Vey books. Oops. My Eyes Are Up Here by I don't know the author. I'm gonna put this in forgettable, because all I remember is that she had big boobs. And it just felt like a weird thing to base a book around. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it felt like she made a big deal out of a lot of stuff that really didn't need to be a big deal. I don't know. Then I read My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. I'm gonna put this one in an average. I enjoyed it, but, like, it's almost bordering on forgettable because, like, I can't really remember what happened. I know she, like, catfishes her best friend on accident. It's a funny way to describe that. Okay, My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. This one's going in enjoyable. I just can't get up there to it. I really like Jodi Picoult. I've read 2 of her books now, and they've both been very, very good. My Sister's Keeper was very emotional. It was very, very enjoyable. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, I'm putting in forgettable. I don't remember anything. I've said that for, like, every single book I put in forgettable. Basically, it didn't catch my attention, and I just couldn't. Okay, this is also, Night Star is also a book in the Evermore series. We put that in Waste of My Time. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. We're putting this one all the way up here in Superior. Actually, I think I'm going to put this one, like, up with the other books that are in my Elite. Goodness gracious, there's like a siren or something going off. I swear. Everything just wants to ruin my filming today. Ninth House was very good. I think I started it in, like, May of last year, and I didn't finish it until, like, October. Like, it was one of those books that just took me a while to read. Not because I didn't like it, but because it's, like, very intense. But it was so good and so atmospheric, and I'm really excited for the sequel. And I don't know why, but lately I've been wanting to reread it. So I might do that. Okay, Once and For All by Sarah Dessen. We're putting this one in enjoyable, if I could get up to it. There we go. Sarah Dessen is a great author. I really like her books. But usually they border on forgettable or just like average, just because like I feel like the themes aren't very like unique, I guess. I don't know. Like they're just like fluffy contemporaries that I'm gonna forget about, but they're like fun to read. But like this one in particular I really, really liked. It had like a deeper hit than most of her books, and I don't know, that one stuck with me. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I don't want to put in forgettable because I know it happened, but also like I don't know that it fits in average because I didn't like it. I don't know. I guess I'll stick it in average for now, but I don't know. I didn't like the plot twist ending. Like I just thought it was dumb. Okay, another Harry Potter book. This goes in enjoyable, not superior. Our Chemical Hearts goes in superior. This was a reread. I had read it, I don't know, in high school, and I reread it because I wanted to watch the Amazon show just called Chemical Hearts, and it made me angry. They ruined that movie, I swear. I think I talked about this in a video, and I'll try to find it if I can, and I'll like link it down below if you want to hear like in-depth thoughts about how they ruined the movie. But like the book itself I really enjoy. It was a great book. Okay, Playlist for the Dead. I don't know the author. This goes in waste of my time. It was terrible. I think I gave it like 2 stars. It was just bad. Please Don't Go Before I Get Better is a poetry book, but I'm putting it in forgettable because poetry to me sometimes is hard to stick with you unless you like really connect with it or you really like notice something that's like mind-blowing. And I didn't notice that much in this book or like connect with anything. It was just contemporary poetry, and like it was enjoyable, but like I don't remember any of them. Harry Potter goes in enjoyable. I wonder if I get my mouse if it'll be easier to scroll and also hold the photo. So Prom by Laurie Halse Anderson. I'm putting this one in average. Ooh, it does help. I grabbed my mouse and it helps that I can scroll and hold at the same time. Because I don't know. I think I read it for a 24-hour readathon, and it was like, it was fun, but like I would never reread it, and I don't know. It wasn't like that amazing or anything. Okay, Pumpkinheads by Faith Erin Hicks is also going in. It's going in enjoyable. Oh, and Rainbow Rowell. I always forget that she's on there because she's on the top. But it is a graphic novel, and it's just very fall-esque, and it's like very atmospheric. It's definitely the perfect book to read during fall or like during Halloween, like when you're going to pumpkin patches and stuff. It was so fun. So that's a good one. I'd probably read that one like every fall. Okay, Rainbow Boys. This one is going in, I'm gonna put it in average. Okay, this one, it's the first book I liked. Or I liked it when I was a kid, and as a reread I was like, yeah, it's not too bad. The second book honestly makes me not like the first book because the second book was so bad. And so like the second book would definitely go in waste of my time, but I think the first book goes in average, I think. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, I believe would go in enjoyable. I know everybody raves about that book, but like it was good, but like it wasn't life-changing. At least not for me. Sorry, Katie. But like it was still very good. Another Michael Vey book. This one goes in superior. There's so many books in superior. Okay, Ruin and Rising by goodness. Okay, you see how it's like bouncing? I swear I'm just scrolling up, but it like goes down and then goes up. I don't know why. My mouse scroller is like broken, so I'm sorry. Another car alarm is going off. What is happening? Goodness gracious. Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This one goes in forgettable because this was my least favorite of the trilogy, and I don't like what happened. I don't like what happened with Mal. I'm sorry, Katie. But like, I don't know. It was just not that good. Shadow and Bone goes in enjoyable. The first book was definitely my favorite. It goes in enjoyable. I put it in average. The first book was definitely my favorite, but like it just like went downhill like slightly from there. We have another Vampire Academy book that goes in Superior. Go there, thank you. And this one, another Evermore book. This goes in Waste of My Time. Siege and Storm, this one goes in Average because, like I said, the books like slowly decline. So Shadow and Bones is Enjoyable, Siege and Storm is an Average, and Ronin and Rising is Unforgettable. Six of Crows. Oh boy. I'm gonna get hate. I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I put it in Waste of My Time. I didn't like it, and I am the only person in the universe who doesn't like Six of Crows as much as they like the trilogy. I think the trilogy is better. And the reason I don't like Six of Crows, and that is what has kept me from reading Crooked Kingdom, first of all, and also King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, because I like Nikolai, but I don't want to have to read Crooked Kingdom to get to King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. So, we blame Six of Crows for that. Harry Potter, we talked about, goes in Enjoyable. I'm putting Specials by Scott Westerfeld in Waste of My Time because of the fact that, like, the first time I read it was when I was in middle school or, like, elementary school, and I liked it. But, like, rereading it as an adult was, like, the whole series didn't hold up at all. And so I think that, like, the reread itself was a waste of my time. Like, I should have just left it in the past. But I wanted to read the, like, the new series. So, like, that's why I reread them. But, like, I should have probably just, like, left it and let it go. Spellbook of the Lost and Found. This one goes in Forgettable. Couldn't tell you a single thing about that except that the atmosphere was good. Stalking Jack the Ripper also goes in Forgettable because I don't think it's as good as everybody says it is. Like, again, can't tell you much about it. I do kind of want to continue the series though. Like, I remember the plot twist at the end, and I liked that. And I do like a good mystery. I just feel like they don't stick with me that long. So, I don't know. We'll see if I end up reading the rest of the series. Michael Vey goes in Superior. Summerbird Blue by Kemi Bowman goes in Average. It was good, but I swear it took me like 6 months to read. So, that is its downfall. Tell Me Three Things goes in Forgettable. I remember it being cute. I don't remember anything else. The Beautiful by Renee Audier goes in A Waste of My Time because it's a fantasy. I don't know why I read this book to begin with. I don't know. And it put me in a reading slump too. So I was like, no. The Body in the Woods goes in Forgettable because I literally read it in like October and can't tell you. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak goes in Average. I don't know. I feel like it's like on the lower end of Average. I actually didn't care for this book. I didn't like the way that it's narrated by Death is cool, but it didn't vibe with me. But of course, it's a World War II historical fiction, which is an important thing to read about. Okay, Michael Vey, Superior. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas goes in Enjoyable. It's very good. I also read Concrete Rose recently, and I really enjoyed that one too. So, like, Angie Thomas is a great author. The Help goes in Enjoyable as well. The Help, the movie, is one of my favorite movies, and so I wanted to read the book. And, of course, the book was just as enjoyable as the movie. The House of Secrets, Waste of My Time. Literally, it was just this tiny, like, mass market paperback book that I had had for, like, a decade, and I hadn't read it, and I was like, I want to get this off my shelf, so I, like, read it. It was trash. It was so bad. And honestly, I couldn't tell you much about it at all anymore, but I was like, okay, well, I finally read it. I can get it off my shelf, and I got rid of it. So, The House of the Scorpion. This goes in Forgettable, but it also goes in Waste of My Time because I didn't enjoy it at all. So, like, I'm sticking it in Waste of My Time. The 100 Lies of Lizzie Lovett. This book is interesting. I'm going to put it in Average, but it's interesting. I don't know if I talked about this in a video or not. Maybe I did. If I did, I'll try to find it and link it down below. But, like, it's interesting because the book itself was very juvenile. Like, this person went missing, and the main character genuinely thought that she turned into a werewolf. And I'm like, you're, like, 16. Why would you think that? You know, like, and it wasn't like a magical realism book or anything. It was just like a normal like mystery contemporary. But then like the ending like really got to me. Like it hit me in the feels. So like I don't know, I have like mixed feelings about this book. But we'll just stick it in average. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I'm putting in enjoyable. I love V.E. Schwab. She's a great author. And the book was slow. I feel like the execution wasn't perfect, but the ending, the ending, and plus like the characters were like amazing. The King of Crows by Leigh Bardugo is going in, where did I put Before the Devil Breaks You? In average, that's where I put it. I feel like it and Before the Devil Breaks You are on the same level for me. The One Memory of Flora Banks goes in, I'm putting it in superior. It was actually very, very good. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Honestly, like, it had, like, an unreliable narrator, which I really enjoy in a book. And I think that it was on my, like, favorite books of 2020 video, I believe. So, like, yeah, it was just really, really good. The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Put this one in average. No, average? Yeah. I didn't like this one as much as I liked With the Fire on High, which is also in here somewhere. Yeah, I'd say it's on the same level as Clap When You Land. They're both written in verse, but like they don't stick with me that long, unfortunately. I just think that verse itself doesn't stick with me very long, which is why poetry also doesn't stick with me that long. I think prose is just like better for like my reading taste and ability and comprehension. But they're still good. The Program by Suzanne Wayne, I think. I'm gonna put this one in enjoyable. My roommate suggested this one to me, and it was actually really good, and I want to continue the series. I just haven't done it yet. The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know where to put this. I'll just put it. It's not unforgettable though. Okay, I'll just stick it in average. It's hard because I actually read this book twice last year. I read it on audiobook and was like, what just happened? So I read it again physically and I was like, I still don't know what happened. Like, I'm just so confused by what the heck is going on in this book. But my friend Katie from Katie Can't Read is hosting a like read along of these books during April, and so I like read the second one very recently and was like constantly messaging her on Discord like, what does this mean? I don't understand, like, can you explain what just happened, because I don't get what it means to the plot. Like, so the Raven Boys for me is like a hate, it's like a hate and love relationship, because like I want to like them, but I also don't understand them. So, I don't know. That one's interesting. Honestly, like, I feel like it could fall under a waste of my time. Or at least the time I spent listening to the audiobook could, because I wasted a lot of time listening to an audiobook that I didn't understand. But, like, it's not the book itself being bad. It's just me not understanding it, you know? So, I don't know what to do with that one. We're gonna leave it there. Average. The Selection by Kira Cass goes in enjoyable. I've been talking about this series so much. It's very, very good. Yeah, I've talked about it a lot, so there's no shortage of me talking about it. The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen, I'm putting in forgettable. I honestly couldn't tell you what happened in this book. Like, I know I read this one and this lullaby, like, over the summer, and I don't know which one was which. Like, I don't know what happened in which one. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer goes in enjoyable. I've just read the 2 sequels to that book recently, and I'd say they all probably fall under the enjoyable category. They're not like life-changing, but they're still like fun to read. The Vanishing Stare by Maureen Johnson goes in forgettable. I really liked Truly Devious. I think Truly Devious, yeah, it's right here. We'll get there. But this one, for some reason, like, just whoosh, completely went over my head. Like, I got nothing out of that book. Like, I can't tell you what this sequel was about, and I would have to reread this one, I think, before I finish the series. The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. This was my all-time #1 book of 2020, and it continues to be in that spot, so it goes up here in my elite books, whatever the heck I called them. Okay, Thin by Grace Bowman goes in average. It was good, but I think it borders on forgettable too. It's about eating disorders, so I love eating disorder books, which is why I read it and why I enjoyed it. But also, I don't remember like what the difference between that and every other eating disorder book is. This is the other Sarah Essen book I was talking about that I couldn't remember like what happened in this one and what happened in this one. It's this lullaby, and yeah, it goes in forgettable. Those Girls by Chevy Stevens goes in, I'm gonna put it in enjoyable. I was on the edge of my seat while reading this book. It was very intense, and I almost want to put it in superior, but I don't know that it matches the level of the other books that are in superior, but it was still so good, and it stuck with me. It's one of those books that you think about a lot. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas goes in Wastes of My Time. I read this for my December Fantasy Challenge, and I'm never going to continue that series, and like, it's just not worth it. It wasn't worth it. Like, I don't know. But now I can say I've read it, so there's that. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson goes in enjoyable. I really liked this one, and that's why I'm sort of sad that I don't remember what happened in The Vanishing Stare, because I really, really enjoyed Truly Devious. And the Truly Devious, like, ended on this giant cliffhanger, and I remember I was, like, freaking out to my roommate, because I was like, I need to know what happens, and, like, and then, like, The Vanishing Stare just felt underwhelming, I guess. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This was a reread, and Turtles All the Way Down is one of my elite books. Like, it's up there in my top 5 favorites, like, with Fangirl. So, of course, it has to go there. Uninvited and Unleashed by Sophie Jordan is a duology. Uninvited, I'd say, was enjoyable. Like, it was definitely an interesting plot. It was pretty good, but, like, Unleashed, I feel like, wasn't on the same level as it, so I'm putting that one in average. Unwind by Neil Shusterman, enjoyable. I just finished reading the Unwind series. They're all very good. Neil Shusterman is a great author. Vampire Academy, we know where that one goes. Right there. And Wake also goes up there. Yay! We love Wake. That's the great trilogy. Honestly, I'm gonna put that one up by my elite books because it's one of my favorite series ever. It's my comfort series. Wayward Son goes in forgettable. Do I remember anything that happened in it? No. What If It's Us is a waste of my time. I'm sorry, Katie. I had so many issues with this book. Like, I'll link the vlog. With the Fire and High by Elizabeth Acevedo goes in enjoyable. I liked it more, like I said, than Clap When You Land in the Poet X, just because it stuck with me longer, and I think that's just because it was written as prose and not as, like, poetry or in verse. And Wolf by Ryan Groudon goes... Honestly, I kind of want to put it in Waste of My Time, but I feel like it's not that bad, but it's still not great, so I think I'm going to put it in forgettable. I remember, like, a good portion of what happened in it, but, like, I didn't care, I guess. Okay, so that is it. Here is my full tier rank list. These books right here are my elite books. And honestly, the majority of my superior tier is just, like, my favorite series, so. But then enjoyable, I've had quite a few enjoyable books this year. Some average books, quite a few forgettable books, unfortunately. A handful of waste of my time books, and then the one book that is the worst book I read in 2020, which is my Bleck tier. My bleh, it's like my throwing up tier. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry that it was late. I wanted to do this, like, closer to the end of 2020, but, like, it just didn't happen, but it's happening now. You're welcome. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss any future videos from me. And follow me on social media. All my links are in the description box down below as always. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!